Uno, dos, tres. Who's gonna begin moderating? No, but who's going to introduce Mr. Shai?
Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Mr. Manfred Cooper. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Partnership for Capay. And today, I would like to first appreciate Capay to co-host this side event with Taiwan HBM. In Latin American countries, we all know that this region is located and very vulnerable for climate change. So a lot of threats, a lot of challenges. However, because of Quebec, because of OPEC Fund, and also many other institutions, I think we totally understand what's the problem happened in Latin America regarding the climate change. And today is good occasion for all of us to share the best practice and also what we have done through the technical systems capabilities to facilitate the channel for advanced climate finance for our Latin American regions. And in this forum, we all have very good opportunity to hear from very outstanding panelists from CAPE, from OPEC Fund, and also myself. I will be the panelist leader to share our project or program in Latin American countries. Yeah, and the technical assistance is just the catalyst. The capacity building also is the one of the master criteria for any kind of development project in preparation of good project proposal to pursue the potential financial channels in order to have financing to mitigate or adapt the climate change related problems. And through our share of our mutual experience, I think we can learn each other and understand in which way could have more efficient preparation channel, and also especially through technology and innovation to enhance the project feasibility, to convince the potential donor or even the government to allocate the more budget to fight against climate change in Latin American region and countries. And I already very anticipated to hear from my colleagues from the renowned institutions today. And finally, I want to promote the partnership again. The partnership last year, the global ODA has shrink 7%, and this year is supposed to 15 to 18% of the whole ODA amounts because of the geopolitical risk and also the war. And so therefore, how to leverage our resources and how to find different kind of blend financing for the climate action, I think becomes so important and crucial. And here, I just express that Taiwan ICDF cherish the friendship with Gabay, and in the future, we will continue to strengthen our contribution and also our partnership with Gabay. But at the same time, we are also interested looking for new potential partnership like with OPEC fund. So today, I'm very, very happy and honored to stand here, and I'm looking forward today would be very fruitful, successful forum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shai, for those kind words. And to build on those opening reflections, we would like to explore how technical assistance and partnerships are helping countries in Latin America move from project concepts to investment-ready initiatives. So let's begin our dialogue. Before we begin, allow me to briefly introduce the motivation behind this discussion. The Climate Change Investment Project Preparation Fund, the FCC, managed by CABE, is a regional platform that provides non-reimbursable technical assistance to prepare climate investment projects across Central America. Since its creation in 2020, the fund has demonstrated its ability to transform early-age studies into large-scale, high-impact investments, with more than 1.9 billion mobilized to date, and donors joining such as the OPEC Fund, KfW, European Union, Spain, FONPRODE, which reflects growing confidence in the mechanism. This side event was designed to explore how technical assistance, innovation, and digital solutions, such as those promoted by Taiwan ICDF, can accelerate climate projects' readiness and strengthen resilience in Latin America and the Caribbean. With that in mind, let's begin our panel by bringing together complementary perspectives from the CCID, which leads the environmental coordination efforts through SICA, our financing partner like the OPEC Fund, which supports early stage climate initiatives, and that of Taiwan ICDF, whose technology and resilience focused experience can inspire new collaborations through mechanisms like the FCC. So I'm gonna begin with Salvador Nieto. Let me create a brief introduction for Salvador. Salvador is a seasoned environmental policy specialist with more than 20 years of leadership in regional environmental governance within Central America, and he currently represents the CCAD of the SICA system. The CCAD is the Central America Commission for Environment and Development, where he coordinates high-level regional initiatives on climate resilience, environmental protection, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable development. So just to begin, I would like to ask a question to Mr. Nieto from the CCAD that has been instrumental in strengthening environmental governance and regional cooperation with SICA. How can mechanisms like the FCC support Central America countries in turning climate priorities into well-prepared bankable projects?
Thank you, Manfred. Can you hear me? I think I need to. Yes. Okay, thank you, Manfred. And thank you. And let me start by saying that I congratulate the organizer by bringing us here to discuss these the opportunities for Central America with the FCC fund. And I will start saying that Taiwan and CCID has been partners for more than a decade in different projects regarding clean cooking, and now we're working on energy mobility, energy efficiency, fisheries, and also in a very interesting project regarding how we can manage climate risk with different institutions in Central America, including CEPREDENAC, CRRH, FOCART, and these institutions are in charge of different topics regard, for example, water sanitation, risk disaster management, and climate observation. So that's important for us to recognize the support that Taiwan has been working with CCID and SICA for a long time. Regarding the question, Manfred, I will start saying that CCID, by his mandate, is the mandate of the Constitutive Convention is aimed to create an international and regional cooperation framework in environmental matters. So initiatives like the FCC is really well linked to our mandate, to our specific reason of being here, no? Because we have the opportunity with FCC to leverage high impact climate initiatives by making resources available to CCID member countries to design transformative proposals that shift the paradigm in areas such as energy, ecosystem restoration, the safeguarding of strategic public infrastructure, information systems, and climate transparency systems, including robust MRV, monitoring, reporting, and verification frameworks, among others. So that's why for us it's important to have in Central America this opportunity to prepare proposals, innovative proposals, proposals that incorporate technologies, and all these elements con contained in the UNFCCC mandate regarding technology, capacity building, that has been for Central America and for the Latin American countries, one of the points that we consider in sometimes that is not well approached in the international framework. No. Finally, I will make an emphasis in the need to have these FCC opportunities for us as CCAD to prepare these proposals. We have a lot of ideas in the regional environmental strategy and in the regional climate change strategy to develop different proposal of projects that we think that have the capacity to be developed under this FCC initiative.
Thank you, Salvador. I will come back with some other questions. Now I'm going to introduce Lucila Moreno, who is the Director for Latin America and the Caribbean at the OPEC Fund for International Development. Mrs. Lucila Moreno is an accomplished national development finance expert and currently serves as Director for Latin America and the Caribbean at the OPEC Fund for International Development. With a strong background in public and private financial system, Mrs. Moreno has developed a significant professional trajectory that spans central banking, commercial banking, and international development. At the OPEC Fund, she has played a strategic role in expanding the institution's footprint in Latin America and the Caribbean, leading investment operations focused on private sector development, trade finance, financial inclusion, and support for sustainable economic growth. So the question that I have for Mrs. Moreno is, the OPEC Fund became a donor to the FCC in 2025. Reinforces its commitment to early stage project preparation. What drove the OPEC Fund interest in supporting this kind of mechanism?
Thank you, Manfred. Thank you for the invite. It's super weird to listen to yourself. Thank you for the invitation to this panel, and I'm glad to see you all here. So what motivates us? Just to give a very brief overview about the OPEC Fund, we are a multilateral development financial institution operating in 125 countries globally. And among them, we support the Latin American and the Caribbean region. We have a partnership with CAVE for a long time, and over the last year, we have been trying to strengthen not only the relationship, but our presence as well across the region. One of the things that we have noticed throughout the years and lessons learned is that probably part of the failures, delays that we face in the projects are basically because they are not well prepared at earliest. So that motivates us to be part of this solution, to support readiness of projects, to have a smoother implementation, and as well at the same time to support the countries. Sometimes the countries, they don't have the resources available for doing all the feasibilities and designs that are required for the project. Other thing is that we, at the OPEC fund, similar to CABE, we need to follow as well international standards in terms of environmental and social assessment. And sometimes there is lack of knowledge in our region on what are these requirements on public disclosure, environmental assessment, and it's like being hand by hand with the partners in the region to make easier this journey in the preparation of the project. So when the CABE introduces this fund, we thought that very much well aligned with what we aim at the region. And you are very close to the region because you are there in presence. You know your countries very well. And it's what we have seen as this part of this fund as well is that it encompasses what is everything on the OPEC fund strategy and aim. So resilient infrastructure, climate related, agriculture. We have done together a number of projects that are flagships in country. We just came back a month ago. We were in El Salvador signing a project with that we did with CABE, which is a flagship for the country, which is Surf City. And it included as well, not only roads, included as well drainage systems. So a very complete, comprehensive project. You also have done a number of flagship projects for the country, which are cleaning lakes that before were unexpectable that you could be even look at. And so although our incorporation to this or our contributions is relatively recent, we are very much looking forward and implemented that in the eligible countries in Latin America, especially in the Central America. And last point, although for this project for Source City, which is something recent, we had not signed back then this agreement. We also supported with non-reimbursable resources to complete the final design of some of the issues that needed to be completed. So we're very much looking forward to continue working. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will come back with some more questions. Now I'm going with the third panelist, not last but not least, Mr. Alex Shai, Deputy General Secretary General of Taiwan ICDF. Mr. Alex is the Deputy Secretary General of the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, bringing more than 2 decades of experience in international cooperation, development finance, and technical assistance. His academic background includes studies in international trade, an MBA on Long Island University, and a specialization in financial management at the Amsterdam Institute of Finance. Within Taiwan, Mr. Shai has held multiple leadership roles, including Auditor General, Director of the Banking and Finance Department, and Deputy Director of the Technical Cooperation Department. He has also represented Taiwan in various international postings, leading missions in Central America and the Balkans. Mr. Shai is a recognized advocate for green finance, digital transformation, in development cooperation, and in innovative mechanisms for climate resilience. So, to begin with, the first question for Mr. Shai, Taiwan ICDF has been implementing various early warning systems and resilience-oriented initiatives in its partner countries. Could you share which types of systems have proven most effective in strengthening community preparedness and climate resilience?
Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Now I speak alone. Okay. Regarding our best practice and experience to use the early warning system in Central American countries, now I would use one example project to share over you. That's a project in Belize City. Belize is very vulnerable to the climate change, and the country, I think most of the country are located in low-lying region. It's very easy to be affected by hurricane and also heavy raining. And because of this problem has been suffered for Belize for many years. So in 2018, the government requests city resilience capability project to Taiwan ICDF, and we jointly implement a project with Belize's environmental ministries. And this project, I think there are several components to implement a successful early warning project. Yeah, especially for flood, for heavy raining, and we just organize. Okay, we just organize fact-finding and appraisal mission to the country to see what's the real problem. And this kind of project really need technology, especially digital technologies. So we separate the project for resilience and also adaptation for the flooding. I think the first phase is preparation. So we need to give the related government agencies, capacity building, and how to organize communities to were prepared before the flooding happened. The second phase, during the disaster or flooding, how to very efficient and quick response to the flood. And the third phase is post-recovery. Yeah. And for our project, I think we just at the beginning we use a model called digital evaluation model. And through this model, we can very clearly to see the flood-prone area, and also we just prepare different kinds of maps, especially risk maps, the road maps, and also the terrain maps to see which area is most easily to be affected when the flood comes. And so the model really play a very critical role. The second phase is prediction. When we have the model, we need to know how to set up the alert threshold, and this phase needs to use numerical, calculation to very clearly figure out when the flood comes, in what type of flood and what kind of and which area will be affected by the flood. The third phase is to set up the early warning system through integrated geographic information system. That will be very, very efficiently, to understand from the upstream, middle stream, and to downstream, the waters, and also especially the debris flow. Yeah, sometimes it's not water, damage the community. It's the debris flow. Debris flow is more serious than the water. Okay. The fourth phase to set up the alert dissemination to the public, to the community. Yeah, I need in this phase we need technology like Internet of Things, like also the 5G, very efficient, dissemination channels. Yeah, through these four phases, the project proved to be very efficient and very effectively. And the first 4 years, we just focused our project in San Ignacio and San Ignacio City, which is a tourism center. And because the successful of the project, the government requests us to expand and scale up the project to the whole Belize River Basin. And the project benefit the city, include also the Belmont Pan, the capital, and also Belize City. So this could be a very successful model, how to use the early warning system and how to use different digital equipment to give the community capability to strengthen their resilience when the flood happening. In 2021, there's a very big hurricane, ETA, in the Central America. And our project give 3 hours earlier when the flood come to the San Ignacio. And that could be also a very good, proof that the system is efficiently used. And I think also through this project, it benefited Belize government to apply the climate finance fund from different organizations like GF or GCF because they already show the city's weakness and the strengths when they build the infrastructure and how to avoid some of the very vulnerable region when the flood come. That will be my explanation about how to efficiently use the early warning system.
Thank you. And I think in Latin America we can learn, and from Inca Bay also, we can learn a lot about this project, because one of the main issues or main challenges in Central America and Latin America is the lack of information, of good information to take better decisions related to climate. And in some cases, if we begin building, it's not the sexiest project of all because it's building information, but if we have quality information to take better decisions, we can really implement better projects. And in that case, the 3 hours earlier, it's a good example that you can implement those type of projects in Central America. So I will come back and try to learn a little bit more about that project, because I think it's an interesting project to learn more about. Going back with Salvador and related to the project, we have been working in different projects that are in the FCC funded, for example, in the Lake Yohoa. The recovery of Lake Yohoa and the Mesoamerican Reef Restoration align closely with CCAD regional strategies. How to envision better integration between technical assistance and the NDCs of SICA member states? Because one of the main issues is how can we integrate better projects related to NDCs projects and not completely a part of the NDCs. Salvador?
Indeed, indeed. I think you're making the point that it's important to have this connection between national priorities expressed in the NDCs and national climate change plans, national adaptation plans, and that will be the way to have projects well integrated, and we are following up with the countries in this cycle of implementation of NDCs. Now, several of the countries of CCAD members are presenting their NDCs train 3.0, no? So we are expecting for these documents to leave. So we will have the mandate to integrate these proposals with this aligned with these priorities. A prerequisite for CCAD participation in a project is that the subject matter has to be directly aligned with these priorities identified by the countries for themselves. No, the first requisite is that we do not envision a project, or we do not start the preparation of a project if it's not aligned with the priorities of the countries. In this context, we at CCID give precedence to technical assistance initiatives that contribute to addressing high priority challenges. For example, countries are using a term now here in Central America. They are talking about high impact climate projects, proyectos de alto impacto climático. So that's a term that they are using, and they're making reference to this project that could be good for the climate topics and targets, but if not well aligned, will be bad implemented. No, so for us, so challenges, the challenges that the countries have in the countries and that is shared in the region, we consider that these coordinated approaches between NDCs, national climate action plans, in a regional initiative brings together the opportunities for all the countries to present. For example, the example that you were making, we know quite well the work of Belize, because in CCID we have making some projects with them regarding the Rio Hondo. I think it's another basin in the Belize territory, no? And we have also the projects with the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef System, with these approaches of R2R, reach to reef, no? How do we can integrate the activities that we make in the high basin with the activities in the coastal areas? And for example, in Belize Guatemala, and even in Mexico, we have been working with Mexican government, trying to integrate this with the NDCs of each countries. So, in conclusion, we do not enter in a project if we are not aligned with the priorities of the countries. We do not have the practice, because for us it's a good practice itself to have this first to understand the country's priorities, the needs, and identify if there is a shared vision in a specific topic. Because CCID, for entering a project, in a regional project, we consider with at least two countries that has the interest to work in a specific topic, we can make a regional priority, no? That's the mandate, and that's the approach that we have in CCID. We do not have to have the 8 countries working the topic, because, for example, could be the case that a specific topic is not of the interest of a country specifically, but the 7 other countries have the interest, so let's go with the project. No, but needs to be aligned with the priorities of the countries, and of course, with the priorities expressed in our 2 regional strategies, the environmental strategy and the climate change strategy.
Thank you, Salvador. And it's for our reality also in the bank at CAPEI. One of the main issues is, in some cases, when you analyze the NDCs and adaptation plans and the climate action and the natural capital and biodiversity, you see a lot of ideas, but when you try to make those project bankable, are very difficult. So we're trying to work with the different countries to create those ideas, to see how those ideas can really become on a project that finance, it could become a reality. Because if not, those ideas are only ideas, and it's very difficult to implement those. So we have been working together with those countries to understand and to prioritize which ones are the most urgent, which ones are the more relevant, and which ones are the most doable. Because in some cases, those ideas are very interesting idea, but it's almost impossible to implement it in the 3 years that government has, or in the long run, the project has to be more broader than one expectation on the short run. And that's why we have been working also on the regional perspective from CAPEI. We have been promoting projects that involve many of the countries on natural capital, oceans, forests, and it's because the integrality of those countries, because if we continue working alone, at the end, our rivers, our air is in the same region, and it's going to be very difficult to solve our challenges on sustainability if we don't work together. And what we have been seeing in the region is that everyone is working on different topics, on different north, and they're talking in different languages, and we have to begin talking in the same language so we can solve the challenges that we're facing together. So thank you very much. And Lucia, related to what you were saying, I would like to understand, how does the participation in the FCC complement the OPEC fund broader climate strategy, particularly its work on energy transition, adaptation, and private sector engagement? Because you have a very interesting strategy related to those topics. Please.
Thank you. It aligns very well. So the OPEC fund, part of our 2030 strategy is that by 2030, we need to have 40% of our portfolio. It has to be climate related, so green climate. And as of end of 2024, we have already achieved 39.4%. So that means that probably we will have increased targets that to continue contributing to climate-related projects. So it perfectly aligns with one of the areas and objective and the strategy of the OPEC fund. As well, we are working on several initiatives internally in terms of adaptation and mitigation, green blue ocean, clean cooking, in more relevant in other regions, and going to adaptation as well, because part of the countries that CAPEI, of course, Central American and the Caribbean, are considered seeds. Some of them are considered seeds. You mentioned Belize. We have also Dominican Republic that is considered a seed. So we have several mechanisms to try to support the region and aligns with the climate objective. I want to mention about something that you said, that if you don't know, Central America is a very small area which is historically connected, not only by language, also geographically speaking is very similar. And sometimes that happens, that the people speak completely different languages, and we have the cyclical political governments that goes 4 for 5 years, and then the priorities change. So our targets, objective, and aim should be as well to communicate those messages to the government to prioritize clean, prioritize climate as part of the agenda that is a state agenda, that is not a government-related agenda only for a 5 year cycle. I don't want to enter into politics because it's not our objective, but it's something that we need to continue thinking and working on that. So the fund allies for what I mentioned before is totally the strategy, the climate related strategy, and because of what it entails. So it entails resilient infrastructure, water and sanitation, waste management, so many things that are very much needed in the region. Even the roads and drainage, that's also part of what's happening. It's a region that is very vulnerable to floods. So we need to prepare correctly in a proper way the project so the roads can last those rainy season, and we don't have to wait for the rainy and the dry season to come, and that they can last for a longer period. And on a final remark, because I was looking now as part of the know what we have received recently, and water, waste management, sanitation projects are the type of project that you are looking at, and that we would love as well to contribute to them in Honduras, in Guatemala, in Dominican Republic, basically in all the beneficiary countries from CAPEC.
Thank you. And I think that's a challenge that we have to be in solving related to climate and to the challenges that we're facing related to environmental issues. It's the cycles of politics, because at the end, it's going to be very difficult to solve those issues in a cycle of 5 years. It's going to be almost impossible. So we have to begin looking on the long run, as Mr. Shai was saying, on the project on Belize, on the early warning systems. It's not a project of 4 years or 3 years. It has been a project that they have been implementing for several years, and it has been passed through the cycle of politics. So related to on what we were saying about Belize, from your perspective, Mr. Shai, how can technology and data-driven approaches help bridge the climate finance gap at the project preparation stage, particularly in developing regions that need to turn ideas into investment-ready proposals?
Yeah, I have been working in my organization's technical department and investment lending department as well. So I understand how important a good project of preparation can facilitate the following project finance. Yeah, and my previous example is to Belize. In fact, we have implemented many projects, and I will following the Belize project. And ICF has collaborated with American think tank Stimson Center to make a survey and also preparation for country of our mutual concern, not only in Central and South America, but also in Caribbean, in the African regions, to have these developing countries or small island developing countries, coast area cities, to figure out the real climate risk index. So the index has 3 major categories. The first one is politics. The second one, environment. The third one is governance. And this research is called COVID, not the academic COVID, but it's a climate risk vulnerability index. Okay, COVID, and the COVID has more than 120 different specific index, and through methodology, how to prepare the final index report, we collaborate with local consultants, Taiwanese consultant, and the government agency, and also the third party, the civil society, to fill the form, and also through series of statistics, the report comes. And in Belize, we have finished this report, and also in some other Caribbean region countries. And the Belize government used this report to apply a special fund from Quebec. And just recently, I'm very glad to hear that Quebec has approved 980,000 US dollars for a project. It's called the Metropolitan Climate Resilience Initiative. Yeah, so that is the case through kind of study, feasibility study or research, and through scientific evidence, the indicator and the number can facilitate the country to very smoothly process to climate finance through CAPE or even GEF or GCF.
Yeah, as we were saying, good information creates good projects, and with good information, you can take better decisions, and that's why we're implementing that project. Going back to Salvador, looking at the broader region, which lessons from Central America ecosystem restoration or water resilience programs could be scaled up through greater collaboration with multilateral and bilateral partners?
Thank you. Well, from the very beginning, when CCAD conceives a project, we always work with the intention of make this project scalable, no? To have the opportunity to reply or replicate these initiatives in other countries and also in other topics. Over the years, we have obtained important results in different projects. For example, the one with you, the project that is almost just starting, no, the dry corridor, but the process of formulation, the process of preparation provides CCAD with a lot of lessons learned. If we wouldn't have been working with CABE from the beginning, and if we had not had the collaboration of CABE with this technical facility and financial assistance to prepare a robust proposal, we couldn't have been working in a project like that. No, it's a project, and that's important to say that like you said, a bankable project, a well-formulated project is not cheap to prepare. No, it is important to understand that a good project with the complexities that the different funds have for the preparation and for the formulation request a lot of capacities, but also a lot of resources. For example, to have the validation, the consultation processes, the dry corridor, for example, is a good example because we have 7 countries working in the project with activities at a regional scale, but activities also at the national scale. And according to the rules of procedure and rules of approval of GCF, we had to go to the basins, to the cuencas in each country to make these consultation processes. So we were working in the project with CABE. CABE luckily has the capacity to provide us assistance, technical assistance, because projects like the ones in the GCF demands that you provide the climate rational of the paradigm shift, and that for the countries not always is easy to formulate. No, so that's why I see this initiative like the FCC important. If we had this FCC at the time that we formulated the dry corridor like 10 years ago, maybe that would be one of the sources that we were looking for to have this capacity. No, that's why for us it's important, and we emphasize the need for scale these FCC funds, and luckily another donors are entering to the fund, no, to the fund. So that's important for us, and to be clear that it is not easy to formulate a well and bankable project. Demands a lot of capacities, a lot of technology, like Doctor was saying. We need information systems, meteorological information, and that has to be provided by the countries, but with the support of formulators.
Thank you, Salvador. And going back with Lucila, and also going to almost to looking ahead, what specific areas or sectors do you see as most promising for deeper collaboration with CAPEI, whether through the FCC or new facilities to strengthen climate resilience and inclusive growth in Latin America?
Thank you. Maybe I didn't mention before, but the super strange to listen to yourself. Maybe I didn't mention before, but we at the OPEC Fund we are sector agnostic. So basically, we follow what are the country's needs and demands. So very similar to what you mentioned before. Of course, we have our own initiatives that we want to have. What I mentioned before, 40% of our portfolio in climate related. We have initiative food security action plan. We have an adaptation facility as well, and the small island resilient facility. So we have different initiatives. The reason of having these different initiatives that before we were looking project by project, our contributions in the, but we realized as well that sometimes you need to look in a more holistic way the problems and the matters. And it allowed us as well to be more accountables in the same of keeping track as well of where we are going and what are the development needs, and also to learn from what we haven't done in a proper way. So areas of cooperation, having said this, are broad. Basically, are in all the eligible countries where CAPEI is working. In addition to that, even if it's not only linked to CAPEI, we are also cooperating with other DFIs the same way that you are doing. We're also cooperating with CAF, with the Inter-American Development Bank, with Complatas that are also regional DFIs that support the other countries. And that's important because if you want to aim the development of the region, we cannot be looking in isolation only the Central America. We also need to look at South American as well and the Caribbean because it's a common target. We share somehow the land. It's our own land, and the end is the word. So area of cooperation are many. We want to continue strengthening the collaboration. We have continuous discussion with the team. It's part of a frequent conversation of exchange as well. There is also knowledge sharing of things that you see on the ground because we are far away. We are based in Vienna. So we rely on partners like you that are somehow as well our eyes in the region. So I put it here. Thank you.
So yeah, and one of the things that I have been saying to different partners and different stakeholders here is to stop seeing each other as competitors and to begin seeing each other as partners to solve the real issues that we have. Because if we, for example, see with CAF as a competitor instead of a partner, it's going to be difficult to solve the issues that we have in all Latin America, because at the end, our rivers, our water, our air isn't the same. So if we have to work together to solve those issues with civil society, private sector, public sector, working together to solve those issues. So I really agree and look forward to strengthen our partnership in the future. And going back with Mr. Shai, and as you were saying, we have more than 40 years in this relationship between Taiwan and CAPEI. How do you envision deepening this partnership with CAPEI and other IDFC members to promote resilient technology-enabled climate solutions across Latin America?
To tell you the truth, in the past, we majorly focus cooperation regarding the climate change to use innovation and technologies, majorly through bilateral channels. And for multilateral channels, Taiwan HDF has long-term partnership with EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and we contribute $73 million for EBRD special fund called HIPCA, High Impact Partnership on Climate Change. Yeah, and I think it's time for Taiwan HDF to consider how to, emphasize climate issue through multilateral channel through CAPEI. And Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has contributed $5 million, I think, technical assistance fund to CAPEI and to undertake consulting service and even the preparation work for CAPEI's financing project. And when I go back, I will discuss with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and also related stakeholders in Taiwan to see how to contribute more to partner with CABE, even through CCAD, to implement the climate resilience or adaptation related project in the Central American countries. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if you want to say something to finish or closure remarks, or do you, something, Salvador, or someone?
No, thank you. Is just to say that regarding the needs of this, I would like to emphasize in technology. Technology and the capacity of the countries. We need to increase the capacity of countries to make robust MRV systems. For example, if countries are waiting or they are trying to enter into carbon markets, for example, we need to have good systems of MRV. We need to have, we have in Central America this initiative, AFOLU, which is an initiative regarding agriculture, forestry, and land use. No, we have the target for 2040 to restore 30 million of hectares in Central America, but we need to, and the components regarding restoration of forest management are moving well, I think, but we need to start to demonstrate how we are capturing carbon, no, and how we are increasing resilience, and how we are, and that means that we need to have these MRBs. So technology needs to be in information, but also in the capacity of countries of monitoring, report, and verify all these climate actions. And that's the same. And if we see all the NDCs that are now in preparation or just about to be presented, we have this component of technology in all the NDCs. So it's important to make this emphasis. And for us, it's important in CCID to mention it.
Thank you, Salvador. And just as a closure, thank you all to the panelists and participants for this insightful discussion. We explore how mechanisms like the FCC can transform climate priorities into bankable projects, highlighted the importance of regional coordination, for example, through CCAD, discussed the role of international partners such as the OPEC Fund and Taiwan ICDF in driving innovation and resilience, emphasize that technical assistance, digital solutions, and strong partnership are key to accelerate climate action, but I will say also good information and good information to take better decisions. Scaling impactful investments across Latin America and the Caribbean is essential for resilience, working together with public, private sector, and civil society, as Mr. Shai was saying. And let's continue working together to turn these opportunities into tangible results for a sustainable and resilient future, and that we can really contribute to the challenges that we're facing in the Latin America and the Caribbean region. Thank you very much.